In this video, we are going to find the employees who are not eligible to get their salary. Hello, I'm Jagan from Grow with Data. I'm posting this video to share my knowledge in SQL with you. If this assists you in interview preparation anyways, I will be happy. Let's see the data set and we can talk about the question in detail. So here we are given two tables, the employees table and the logs table. The employee table has an employee ID and the needed hour for every employee to work. The logs table has the login time and the logout time of every employee, and every employee have different sessions for it. So in this company, each employee must work for a certain number of hours every month to be eligible to get their salary. So we have to write a solution to report the employees who are not eligible to get the salary. That means their working hours are less than the needed hours. So what we have to do, first you have to find the working hours, which is the difference between the in time and the out time, and we have to aggregate for every employee and get the total working hours of every employee and check if that number is greater than the needed hour. If it's less than or equal to the needed hour, they are not eligible. There should be greater than the needed hour. Let's create the table and comment it out. So what are three steps we do? First we have to find the difference between the working hours and aggregate on every employee and check if it's greater than the needed hour. Okay. So let's start with the date function. Select employee ID. For MySQL, the function is timeDiff. It's out time comma in time as working hours. Okay, from the logs table. So if you see this, it will give you the working hours in hour, minute, second format. But if you see the employee table, it's in the integer format. So how to convert this one? Before that, we have to give the time differences out time and then in time. If you change this to in time and out time, then the difference is going to be in negative. Okay. So always start with the greater date and that goes with the smaller date. Okay. So when you run this, it will give you the hour format. To convert that to a integer format or numerical format, we can just say time to seconds. So this will convert to seconds. Since we want hourly thing, we just divide by 60 into 60. 60 seconds into 60 minutes to make it an hour. Okay, and this is going to show you the format. If you see this 8 hours, 4 hours and 11 hours. So same thing, it converted to a decimal, but we are talking about integer, right? So we can just try the ceiling function and it's on every employee ID level, right? Since we use aggregation, we just say group by employee ID. So if you see this, for every employee, we got the total working hours. So employee 1 got 22 hours of working and he is eligible because the needed hours only 20. He got 2 hours extra. But employee 2, he has to grow greater than 12 hours, but he's got only 12 hours. So he is not eligible. And employee 3, he is not at all in the picture. He is not at all logged into the log file. So employee 2 and 3 are not eligible. Okay. So how to get those employees out? For that, let's keep this as a CTE table, have a good name, employees working hour as this. Let's try a left join with the employee working hour as a main table, left join employees emp on employees dot employee id equal to working table dot employee id, and the condition is the employee dot needed hour should be greater than the working hour, right. So it should be work dot employee id. Let's run this and see what happens. Shows what unknown column E or K, so W or K. Okay, so we get 1 and 2. 1 is eligible. So why are we getting it? Because we use a left join and there is no proper filter, and is not going to be a red flag filter, right? It just allows it. So here it says empty set, because we have to say the needed hour is, if it's greater than or equal to the working hour, then it's not eligible, right? It should 12 or more. Sorry, it should not be 12 or more. It's more than 12, right? So to make sure, if it's less greater than or equal to the working hours, then it's not eligible. So the employee 2 comes into picture. Now we have to bring in 3 also. Why 3 is not coming? Because we are using the working hour as the main table and employee table as the left join. So whatever in the employee table comes first, if it's the employee, sorry, whatever in the employee working hour comes first, and if it's there in the employee table, it brings those data. So instead of left join, we have to use the right join. So even then 2 is not coming, because when you use right join, if you get the employee hours, right, so what happens is, if the record is not available, then it will show us null value, right. See, so the working hour is going to be a null value. So if you say the needed hour is greater than or equal to null, it's not going to work. So to make it work, what you have to do, remove this guy, where working hours is this, or this working hour column is null. Okay, if you check this, then you will get the employee ID, but it shows null because we are using W or K as the main table. So we use emp here, so we get 2 and 3. So instead of having a separate OR condition, we can simply say coalesce function, coalesce, is going to give you the same result. So what we did, we convert that to a right join, and then we move the column to the main table. If the right join, the employee is the main table now, the working hour is going to be the secondary table. So I prefer go with the left join all the time. So if you want to convert that to a left join, I can simply say from this table left join this, and you can run it, right. So you know how to use the left join and right join, and then you have to know which column to put here. The main table's column has to be populated to validate, and since it's a left join, we make sure that the null value has been addressed. If you don't use the coalesce function, then it's going to check the needed hour greater than or equal to null value, which is not going to work, right. So this way we can address the records which are in employee table but not in the logs table, and we have 2 and 3 as the employees who are not eligible to make the salary list. Okay, now we have these many functions, right, time difference, time to select, all that. So there is one other way to calculate the time difference. Let's show you that. There is something called the unique function. Let's get this. Okay, so we remove all the ceiling and stuff, out time and in time, right? Okay, so what we can do is we can start with Unix timestamp of this minus Unix timestamp of the in time. This will give you the as working hour. So the column name can be short. So you get the working hours in seconds. To 8808, and then we can just sum up. Oops, where it went? Oh, sum went there. So sum of this gives you the sum of the difference, right? Oops, select. Oh, sum, we have to use group by. Seven 2242. So that is what we get in our previous functions. Let's see this as working hour. Working hours by 3600. Okay. Since we use the ceiling function here, we can use the ceiling function here to match. So we have a small correction. So 21 and 12. So this shows 22. So Unix timestamp is little bit accurate, and time to second has a small change to it. Okay, but just understand that the Unix timestamp is much easier than getting the time difference and the time to second and then going for it, right? So instead of two level of conversion, we can just do a one level of conversion to Unix timestamp, but the data is little bit of difference between the time function and the Unix timestamp. Okay, so this is one way of converting it. Let's keep it aside. Now the previous one, we have a CTE table and then we do a left join. So if I want to do directly connect with both the tables, if I want to do from employees table left join the logs table lg on lg dot employee id equal to emp dot employee id. So if I want to directly connect with the employee table and the logs table, how will I work on the filter conditions? Emp dot employee id. So what we have to do, we have to group by the employee, and the filter condition is the hourly calculation, right? So how can I do that in an hourly calculation? Having employee dot needed hour should be greater than or equal to, what is the function we used? We use this or the Unix function, right? We do this. This is not going to work because I tell you why. unknown column emp dot needed hour. This is needed hour, right? Needed hours. There's a spell. Okay, that's right. But still it shows error because we are comparing a non-aggregated column with the aggregated column. The previous videos we used to address how to fix this. So just add the aggregation part on one side. So we got the employee ID 2 who is not eligible for it. And why is 3 not coming? Still we have the left join and 3 is not coming because we talked about the null value issue, right? So it will check for the needed hour greater than or equal to null value, which is not going to work. So we just address the null value, we get 2 and 3. So instead of going with the CTE table and all the left join, we can directly connect the employee table with the logs table. Only thing is you have to know how to use the having filter, how to address a non-aggregated field with the aggregated field, and if there is a null value, how to address that with the coalesce function. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.